Yeah, Jar's content is pretty shit. He seems like an okay dude in person. I've talked to him on Discord before about random shit, but him making videos on overdone shitty bandwagons that were never that entertaining to begin with is beyond cringy. Like, seriously? A video on fucking Speechy of all people? Speechy's honestly less of a lolcow than half of the retards who talk about her.
Bitch, you talked about Speechy too!
Yeah, no. The difference is that when I talked about Speechy, she wasn't a bandwagon. When you did, she was a bandwagon. That was my fucking point. My point wasn't that, you made a video like on Speechy, therefore that's the problem. My problem is that you made a video on Speechy who was already an overdone, unentertaining bandwagon that didn't fucking matter. That was my fucking point. Like, and you can't try to play the hypocrisy card on me because I never did that. I never did a video on Speechy when she was a fucking bandwagon. And trust me, if I knew that she was gonna become the retarded bandwagon that she is now, I would have never made that video on Speechy, right? And it's really funny. It's really funny that it's really funny because, like, this is not, keep in mind, this is not a critique to Jar, by the way. This is just a really funny observation. Half of the retards who made videos on Speechy, they only did so because I did. And I know that because I even asked them. That's the that's the funniest thing about the whole Speechy bandwagon. I swear, half of the retards who made videos on Speechy only did so because I did. I promise you that. and that's and that's what I just find fucking hilarious about it,
And your video was one of the worst ones!
But my video was just a shit post. It wasn't supposed to be an actual rant/commentary video. It was literally a minute-long video. A minute-long video. Like a minute, 2 minutes, I forgot the exact time. But it was literally like a couple minutes of me playing a couple clips from her video and just laughing at it because of how fucking absurd, her video was. And that was what my video was. It wasn't supposed to be an actual rant video. It was a shit post to attract retards so I can, laugh at them getting angry at me in the comments. And I got a lot of good fucking comments from that video. I'll tell you that right now. And it worked, right? My video wasn't supposed to be like an actual rant video. I only titled it that way to attract idiots to watch this video, get angry and spurred the fuck out in the comments, and then I'll laugh at them later. That was literally the point of the fucking video.
For those of you who don't know who this person is, this is MegaDoop. Yeah, he changed his name, but I mostly know him as MegaDoop. When I was in the Pokemon drama with Kuhtoons, he was totally against me. And when the Alt versus the Neo drama happened, he made a video saying me and Kuhtoons were stupid. But he talked about Kuhtoons the entire time and not me. It was a little weird. And I've seen him talk shit about me in Seth's Discord server.
Wait, what? I talk shit about you on Seth's Discord server? You mean Seth the programmer? I talk shit about you on his server, huh? Okay, I honestly don't remember if I did. And if I did, then can I get like a screenshot or something? Because look, I'm not saying that Jar is lying here, okay, people? I'm not gonna sit here and say that he's flat out lying out of his ass. But I honestly don't remember me ever talking shit about him on Seth the programmer's Discord server. And if I did, I did. Maybe I did. I don't fucking remember. And by talking shit, what exactly do you mean? Do you mean me calling you retarded or something like that? Because if that's the case, I call everybody retarded. But whatever. I honestly don't know what he's talking about. I legitimately don't remember. Maybe I did, maybe I didn't. I don't fucking know. A screenshot would be nice because I don't fucking remember, right? So there you go.
And later he decided he didn't like Seth the programmer.
Yeah, I didn't like Seth the programmer because Seth the programmer was being a fucking autist on the internet, whining about fucking versus battles when versus battles is fucking stupid. Okay, versus battles is fucking retarded. Okay, trying to apply physics to cartoons and to fucking, you know, that shit, it's mental. It's fucking mental, man. You know, like that makes no fucking sense. There are so many things in cartoons where you can easily or in fiction for that matter, where you can easily sit there and say that this shit does not, you cannot try to apply the laws of physics to it, right? How can a character, for example, this is something that a lot of versus battles retards like to play out. How can a character be faster than the speed of light if they have a mass? That is physically impossible. If something has a mass, it cannot be faster than light. Because if it was at the speed of light, then their energy would be infinite, right? So this idea that you can just apply physics to Dragon Ball Z or some bullshit like that, it's fantasy. And the reason why it's fantasy is because you're talking about fucking fantasy. You're talking about fiction. Something that doesn't exist in real life. That's the reason why I decided to, you know, why I didn't like Seth the Programmer anymore, because he was taking that shit way too seriously, and he also banned me from his Discord server. So there's another reason. It wasn't for no reason, my dude. So yeah, like what the fuck?
MegaDoop, you've done this so many times before. We both know how this is going to end.
Now, if you guys have no idea who Just a Robot is, me and him actually got into some drama, you know, a few months back, and it was all my fault. I almost dissolved the friendship because we were friends at the time, and it was a really shitty thing to do. He has forgiven me for this shit, so that's really cool.
What exactly did I do wrong? Just making a comment that, you know, saying that I don't like your content warrants an apology now? Why? Like, and the funny thing is, I still consider you a friend. I just don't like your content. When did it become a prerequisite that in order to be friends with someone on YouTube or whatever, that you have to like their content? I'm not going to apologize for shit, because unlike the last time where I was trying to attack your character for no reason, here, all I said was, I just don't like Jar's content, even though he seems like an okay dude. I've talked to him on Discord about shit, and that's it. What's so fucking bad about that?
And yes, his spurging over SJWs is so fucking annoying.
Nigga, it's spurging over SJWs, not spurging. Seriously, this guy, Junkie, yeah, keep in mind, he had this fucking retard read his, read the comments that he was responding to. But this fucking idiot, like, holy shit, I can't listen to his voice any longer. I'm sorry, I just can't.
MegaDoop, you know I don't make videos about SJWs and feminism anymore. You even congratulated me for it.
Kind of switched his content to focusing on power scaling or debunks of versus battles videos, right? And not gonna lie, I love this transition. I think it's way better than the, let's be real here, the old stale formula of just shitting on SJWs.
Didn't you make a video like a week ago talking about fucking BuzzFeed of all things, which is arguably the most cliched anti-SJW type video you can ever make? And you made one on fucking BuzzFeed about it. And not only that, but about 3 months ago, you made a video talking about how CNN is fake news, which is definitely not an anti-SJW like type video to make. But you made that video, and this is what you say in the beginning of the video.
Hey Jar, I hear you're getting into politics again.
So, no, you still spurg over SJWs, my dude. Like, what the fuck? And also, that clip that you showed everyone to try to debunk my point, that was a clip that I said when you were making purely anime-driven content and the versus battles nonsense, right? It wasn't like a clip I said recently. It was a clip when I still had that fucking gay-ass Darth Vader avatar, right? I changed that avatar like a long-ass time ago. right? So you're not showing everyone the full context here. You're just showing the clip and being like, MegaDoop, you did say this.
Also, MegaDoop, don't call me a spurg when you have done this.
In fact, I challenge every commentary community member right now. Next year at WrestleMania, all of you guys, in the main event, I will walk in there as a challenger and come out of there as a champion. Nothing can stop me. I am the best. I am different from everybody else, and I am the ultimate fucking ranter. Sure, I'm a spurg, I guess. Like Jar, I only said spurg because that's just part of my everyday language. It's a word that doesn't fucking matter to me. I describe a lot of people on the internet with that word. It's like, did that really bother you that much? Like, it's like if I said Jar's bitching about SJWs is so fucking annoying, and then you respond with, hey, MegaDoop, I'm not the bitch. You're the true bitch. Like, really? I thought it was kind of obvious that I just used the term spurg to describe a lot of retards. And I thought that was kind of obvious from the comment, but nope, it wasn't. I mean, if you had to play the hypocrisy card to try to prove me wrong, okay, I'm a spurg. I mean, I really don't fucking care. Like, that doesn't... It's just a word I use to describe people on the internet. It doesn't mean anything.
Let me guess, MegaDoop, that was just a joke, right? I've heard that excuse so many times.
I mean, it wasn't really a joke, sure. I wasn't doing it to be funny. I was just doing it to be offensive, right? Like, I was just yelling just to, like, fuck with people at the time, right? Because I thought the commentary community was a fucking joke. Which I still do, by the way. But yeah, I mean, yeah, it wasn't really a joke, so yeah, I'm not gonna try to argue against that, really.
I wouldn't say it's as bad as Sargon, because at least Jar doesn't go around saying that literal Nazis are cooler than SJWs. No, seriously, that's something that Sargon actually said.
Well, technically that's true. A serial killer is cooler than an accountant. I'm not saying that makes the accountant bad or the serial killer good. I'm just saying that a Nazi is cooler than an SJW any day. A Nazi is, of course, more evil than a feminist, but that doesn't make the Nazi not cool.
Jar, you can't be serious right now. It's like if I went around... It's like if I went around saying that fucking school shooters are cool. Like, that's so fucking dumb, dude. What the fuck? And, I understand where he's coming from. I understand what Jar's, like, the point that Jar is trying to make. Talking about Nazis and the history of Nazism and what happened in World War II, it's interesting history, right? I'm not going to sit here and say that it isn't, right? It's like talking about, it's like when you talk about serial killers, it's interesting history. But when you say, like, these things are cool, it sounds fucking autistic, right? It's pure fucking autism. It's like, again, it's like if I said that school shooters are cool. Like, do you see just how dumb that sounds? Like, what the fuck, man?
But it definitely is really annoying shit that shows how little he knows about the actual world if he thinks SJWs are really a threat.
Well, they lost most of their power, and that's why I don't talk about them much anymore. And can you define threat? I don't think they're a threat to my life, but I do think they're a threat to other things.
What I mean by threat is the type of stuff they pass, like what they pass through legislation, right? And the reason why that's dumb to think that they're a threat is because most of the Congress right now, most of the people in Congress right now are Republican. Right? And the president is the literal epitome of an anti-SJW. The head honcho in this country is against SJWs, right? And even then, the Democratic Party, it isn't even like a left-wing party. It's more centrist than anything. Like, these radical SJW types that you're talking about, they've never had legitimate power. Okay? They've never been anything. Right? Like... They've always just been a minority of retards. Like, they're just dumbass college kids doing nothing with their lives. And the thing that a lot of people seem to forget is that college kids have always been radical, right? That's just how college kids are. Like, they've always been like this. I guarantee you in 5 to 10 years, they're gonna grow out of it. Because that's just how college kids are. So yeah, this is why the idea of thinking that SJWs is a threat to our lives or through legislation and shit like that, it's silly. It's fantasy. It's just not true.
What's even funnier about this is that Jar is a Trump supporter. Anyone who's a Trump supporter and a free speech warrior is already a fucking moron, considering Trump does not support free speech and has made claims against free speech. You do know that even if Jar was supporting or voted for Trump, we honestly had a lose-lose situation for us. It was either pick the loony Oompa Loompa or crazy email deleting psychopath. Either way, we were screwed.
Or, you know, you could just not vote. And what's even dumber about this is that Jar made that video he made where he was talking about who he voted for. He did nothing but praise Trump in that video. He was like, the entire video was just him saying Trump is doing good here, Trump is doing good there. Like, he did nothing but praise Trump. So excuse me if I think he's a Trump supporter, right? And I still do, by the way. I mean, again, he made a video talking about how CNN is fake news, right? That is, like, what am I supposed to respond to that, right? So, sorry, I still think he's a Trump supporter. I mean, if he's just gonna keep, you know, parroting the views that Trump has, then yeah, of course I'm gonna think he's a Trump supporter, right? Which again, doesn't refute my point of how can you be a free speech warrior if you support Donald Trump?
Wow, I honestly did not expect that I would have to make this video, but I think it's necessary, mainly because I strongly disagree with another YouTuber who I happen to like. Now, yes, you read the title of this video correctly. I'm going to be doing a quick response to Just a Robot or Jar. Now, if you guys have no idea who Just a Robot is, me and him actually got into some drama, you know, a few months back, and it was all my fault. Okay, I'm not gonna say me and him, it was mainly me, to be completely honest with you. I got into drama with him, it was a complete waste of time, and I almost dissolved the friendship, because we were friends at the time, and it was a really shitty thing to do. He has forgiven me for this shit, so that's really cool. But basically, Just a Robot or Jar, he is a YouTuber, pretty popular with 20,000 subscribers, who used to do videos on SJWs and reaction channels, but kind of switched his content to focusing on power scaling or debunks of versus battles videos, right? And not gonna lie, I love this transition. I think it's way better than the, let's be real here, the old stale formula of just shitting on SJWs. As well as the fact that reaction channels are, well, pretty irrelevant now, so that's pretty cool. Now, Jar is a really good power scaler, okay? He's actually one of my favorite power scalers right now, because he's basically refuted a lot of fucking versus battles people on YouTube. He even completely curb stomped Seth the Programmer, who is, in my opinion, one of the best versus battles debaters. So yeah, I really do like Jar's content. I'm not saying he's dumb. I just found that he said something that I strongly disagree with, okay? Before I get into, you know, the clip I disagree with, let me explain how I even found this clip to begin with. So I was watching Jar's new video, and then in his new video, he says go watch his review of the Strange Visitor Superman comic on his second channel, but he also says this.
Also ignore my whole comment about Merge Samasu. I'm doing a dimensional tiering video next.
So, obviously, that left me a little bit intrigued, right? I was like, wait, what is he talking about? So I decided to go watch his video, and I discovered that he said this.
I will say this version of Superman is very impressive. He's 6-dimensional, he held the entire universe together for billions of years. However, I still think Cosmic Armored Superman is more powerful than him. Do I think he solos all of Dragon Ball Super? Not completely. He's around the power of Infinite Zamasu, who was also six-dimensional because he was infecting other universes and other timelines, which is six-dimensional.
Yes, people. Jar thinks that Infinite Zamasu is 6D, or six-dimensional. I have a lot of problems with this statement, okay? So before I get into why this is just wrong, honestly, and why I strongly disagree with this, let me give you a quick rundown of what dimensional tiering is in versus battles, okay? So dimensional tiering is a very simple concept, alright? It's basically that every character exists on a different dimensional plane. There's 1D, 2D, 3D, and we as humans were 3D, right? Then there's 4D, then there's 5D, etc., etc. Now, when you have fourth dimensional, right? When you're fourth dimensional, that basically means that you have another tier of infinity above three-dimensional beings, right? And to become 4D, you would need to be able to spread through space and time, essentially. So that's basically what 4D is. It's basically being able to surpass time and space, since, you know, space and time are essentially connected. Then there's 5D, where that's another tier of infinity, where you essentially are not affected by time at all. It's really complicated, but it's a very simple thing to grasp, right? Basically, long story short is this. A third-dimensional being cannot defeat a fourth-dimensional being, and a 4D being cannot defeat a 5D being, okay? And this is all due to the simple fact that, you know, there's literal tiers of infinity between the 3D and the 4D, and the 4D and the 5D. So, like, let's say a 3D being going up against a 7D being. That's never gonna happen because the 7D being has 4 tiers of infinity over the 3D being. That's basically what dimensional tiering is. Now, Jar claims that Infinite Zamasu is a 6D being, which I strongly disagree with, and I will explain why. Infinite Zamasu is far weaker than the strongest character in the show, who's known as Zeno, or the Omni King. Now, you're probably wondering, oh, if he's weaker than Zeno, then wouldn't that make Zeno, like, 6D as well, or 7D? Well, no. Zeno, if I'm being completely honest here, at best, he's like low 5D, but the most consistent, I think the most accurate like range of where he's at is probably just high 4D, and I'll explain why in a moment. The reason why he is high 4D is because despite being extremely powerful, he's still affected by time, because there is a present Zeno and there's a future Zeno, right? And if he was 5th dimensional, then that wouldn't be the case. There would only be one Zeno there. There wouldn't be multiple Zenos across different timelines. Now, some people might make the argument, well, you know, he's like a toddler. Zeno's essentially a baby, yet he's billions of years old. So time does affect him very slowly, which it does. But that doesn't mean he's 5D. Like, if you look at characters like Mr. Mixoplick, I know I mispronounced that, but I don't really care. Mr. Mixie is basically the most famous 5-dimensional being, right? He's a 5th-dimensional imp, right? Yet there's only one of him across all timelines, essentially. So if Zeno was really 5th dimensional, there wouldn't even be a future Zeno. It would just be one Zeno, right? The fact that Zeno is essentially a high 4D being, which I just explained why, it doesn't make sense how Infinite Zamasu, who is far weaker than Zeno, would be 6D. Like, that doesn't even make any sense, for fuck's sake. Honestly, that's really all I had to say. It was just, I know this is not really a long video. It was just, you know, something that I really had to get off my chest because, again, I strongly disagree with this statement. Doesn't mean that I hate Jar, alright? I'm not trying to start drama. Again, I really like Jar's power scaling videos. I just had a lot of issues with what he said in regards to Infinite Zamasu. Now, he did say that, to ignore that statement entirely, so I'm not really sure if he disagrees with it now, and if he does disagree with that statement now, then this video was kind of pointless, and I apologize, that was my mistake. I don't know, it just felt a little bit unclear to me. So I thought I'd just make this video, and then that's pretty much it, just a quick little video. You know, I'm pretty curious to see how Just A Robot is doing recently. You know, just to see what he's doing. Let's click on his channel, and go to his videos. And oh.